At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibility.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So, my brand new best friend, John Doherty, former chef at the Waldorf, which is slowly becoming a former. Where did you learn to cook in the first place?
Oh my goodness, Cindy! I got at 15 years old. I got a job washing dishes that quickly put me into cooking, and I fell in love with it. And I cooked through high school, and then I went to the Culinary Institute of America at 18 years old. At 19 years old, I started working at the Waldorf Astoria as a cook. And I promised myself I wouldn't leave there before 1 year was up. But I wound up staying for 30 years. So much for that plan.
Where did you learn to wash dishes when you were a kid?
I grew up out in Comac, Long Island.
Where?
Yeah, and there was a little restaurant called Johnny's Charcoal House. Husband and wife team. They cooked out in front. They had the show kitchen. They cooked out in front of their customers. And when they asked me to help them, that's when I saw the love and the passion that they had, not so much for cooking, but for making their customers happy. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And I stood back. I was like, wow, there's something going on here. I was drawn to that. And so when I cooked, I'm in this zone of, like so many cooks, your passion takes over and you're really using the energy of love into that food that translates to people. And that's why people love Mom's cooking, because she puts her heart and she puts that love energy into the food.
Okay, so what happened to the Waldorf? Tell me before we go into more of your food, what happened to the Waldorf? Would you mind telling me why it took 8 years to not go anywhere?
I left in 2009 when they really started to pitch the Waldorf for sale and started winding things down. It wasn't a place for me to be anymore. So I left. And a few years later is when they closed it, maybe more than a few years, 8 or 9 years later. What took so long on the inside? I have no idea. But I will tell you, it is grand and it's spectacular. The work they did, the detail, the craftsmanship, you can understand why it took so long. Really, they outdid them. It's beautiful.
Listen, honey, I've been there. I've gone through the whole Waldorf. I've seen everything, including the toilets. I've been everywhere. I nearly bought a place there. We'll tell you about that in a few minutes. How did you get to the Waldorf? I mean, you were a kid. This is Class A.
So, I'm 19 years old. I get off the bus. I'm standing in the corner. I look up at this massive building. I was like, what the hell? I walk in. I say, where's the kitchen? They told me it's on the second floor. I walk up there. I see it's a crazy busy place. I see this man. He's the only one wearing black pants. And I say, he must be the chef. So I went up. I introduced myself. No appointment, no nothing. It was Arno Schmidt. You may remember Arno.
I do, yeah.
Good. Well, he just turned 95 this past Sunday, sharp as a tack. So I walked up to our Chef Schmidt, and I said, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for a place to do my externship, and I need to do it here. I will wash dishes or sweep floors, but I really need to do it here. And he laughed, and he said, okay. And he hired me. That was it. He hired me.
You mean that's how you got the job at the Waldorf?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
They didn't try you out or anything?
He hired me as a cook to replace people when they went on vacation during the summer. And that lasted 5 months. And then I had to go back to school to finish up my semester. And I finished 5 months later. I finished on a Friday. I went back to work on Monday. I never lost my employment.
What does it take to create a menu and train chefs to execute it? Is it better? Is the food classier? What's so different about being in the Waldorf besides the fact that it's going to cost you an arm and a leg? What is the damn difference?
Well, I don't know if there's really not much of a difference in the food prepared there or anywhere else. But as a chef, we're battling a very high level of volume, which makes it difficult. So you don't want to create something that can't be produced on a large volume. And then we're also trying to meet or exceed people's expectations, which at the Waldorf are extremely high. For many people, they've waited a lifetime to go there. So it's a dream. You got to make dreams come true. So I've spent my life really just everything I do, I look to focus on quality and meeting those expectations. That's, for me, that's the game. That's what makes it fun for me.
Did you ever screw up?
Yeah, we screwed up. Sure.
Tell me. Oh, I can't wait to hear. Tell me how you screwed up.
Well, oh gosh, that's a long list. I screw up every day, but it's important to admit that if you want to learn and grow. But I would say the biggest potential nightmare was back at the Waldorf, I think in the 90s. We had one of the biggest events of the year, 3,500 lawyers in multiple rooms. Thieves,
3,500 thieves. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, so, we normally did in one party 1,500. So 3,500 was really going beyond what we normally do. So I thought I would be smart. Now, what we usually do for vegetables, for a dinner, that starts at, say, 8 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we cook the vegetables. We shock them cold. Then we put butter and salt and pepper on them, put them on the dishes. And then around 6 o'clock, we heat them up again. And that's how they're nice and fresh when they go out. But I thought, gosh, let's get the vegetables out of the way. Let's cook them and shock them cold the day before. Season, let's put them in the refrigerator overnight. And then we'll take them out and put them in the heater. That should work fine. What's the difference? Whether they're cold for 2 hours or they're cold for 24 hours. Made sense to me. So we did that. And I went up into the ballroom kitchen where all the vegetables were being heated the night of the event, about 2 hours before service, maybe even less. And the smell of sour, rancid vegetables hit me like a truck. And I was like, oh my God, they went sour. So you're laughing. So it was a skit. It was like, okay, you three guys go down to the food store, get me every damn green vegetable you can find. I don't care what it is. You three, go fill up 3 80-gallon kettles of water. Get that sucker boiling. Get it ready. You guys, get all these vegetables and put them in the garbage. And so this was a scramble, and we got the vegetables up, we got them cooked, we got them seasoned, and we're putting them on platters and bowls and putting them in the waiter's hands as they're ready to go into the dining room. It was a heart attack. Well, I never did that again. What happened was the refrigerator, putting all those vegetables in there, warmed up the refrigerator. It took too long to get cold again, and that's when they went sour. Oh my God, Cindy! Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could get vegetables in a refrigerator. I thought not after you cooked them. I didn't know that.
Sure, you can do that at home, right? You just give them 30 seconds in the microwave oven if you want, or warm them up in the oven covered, and they kind of self-steam and get hot again. They're not really cooking that second time. You're just getting them hot to be able to eat.
So how did you get your job really at the Waldorf? You were nobody. How did you become the executive chef at such a young age? What did you do?
I always did what I thought was right, regardless of what everybody else was doing. I think that's why I stood out amongst the other cooks. I didn't take shortcuts. Cindy,
What?
I did what I think is the most valuable characteristic in a person in the workplace. I took initiative. When I saw that something wasn't good, I asked if I could change it, if I could make it better. That's what I beg for and look for in people that work for me today. Do you walk past a piece of paper on the floor, or do you pick it up? Right? Do you wipe the mirror in the bathroom, or do you wait for somebody else to do it? Take initiative to make things right. And that just makes it easier for the boss. So I got recognized for that. And I got moved from one station to the next. Each station was more complicated and more advanced than the last one. And so eventually the chef after Arnold Schmidt said to me, I want you to be a sous chef. Meaning a sous is under, so it puts you in a supervisory role. Really, you're going into management. And I said, Chef, I'm not ready for that. I'm too young. I have a lot to learn. I want to keep working in the kitchen. He said, well, you go home and think about that. So I took the weekend. I came back. I said, Chef, I made up my mind. I'm going to stay in the kitchen. He said, okay, tomorrow you're the sous chef. I'm like, I don't understand. He says, don't worry, I will teach you. And he tutored me. He helped me develop my palate and skills like no one else did. It was amazing. And that's when I really began to develop my palate, which as a chef is really your most valuable tool, your palate, your taste, ability to taste, decipher, recreate, adjust when things aren't right, or so he did that for me, and I became the sous chef at 25.
What is a sous chef? I mean, I know, but if the people who are eating with their fingers don't know, explain what the hell is a sous chef?
Yeah. So the word sous in French means under. So you're the assistant. You're one of the assistants to the executive chef. So a cook, a chef de partie, or a cook is they have no real administrative responsibility outside of supervising their staff. When you get into the role of a sous chef or executive sous, you're taking on administrative work, and it kind of takes you away from the stove, if you would. So, you're starting to do schedules. You're starting to determine quantities of food for certain parties. You're implementing recipes. You're implementing new menus. You're creating new menus along with the chef. So you have other responsibilities, and that's where it started. And then a few years, maybe 2 years after, I became executive sous chef, and now the executive chef at that time was ready to retire, and they felt that I was ready for it. And at 27 years old, it's crazy because, we're talking 150 cooks and chefs, 9 different production kitchens, 3 restaurants, 24-hour room service. It was a madhouse. It was crazy, but it's what I grew up in. It's what I knew. And so they gave me the job, and I did okay.
Who have you cooked for? What celebrities?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, every president, during my tenure. So,
did they ever turn anything back? Did they ever say something was too salty or too lousy?
No. And it's funny. People ask all the time, was there a taster? No, there's not a taster. Now, there was always somebody from the State Department in the kitchen with a magazine or a newspaper, but they were there and they were present. They would do extensive security checks on anybody that might be cooking or coming in contact with the president, but there were also an expectation that the executive chef would be doing that cooking, and so I did. Now, we would know in advance what the president liked to eat and maybe what the president didn't like to eat or couldn't eat. And only one time do I remember, I think it was during the 40th anniversary of the UN, Nancy Reagan, we presented menus and Nancy Reagan, I remember her saying, no, the Ronnie or the president is having that at lunch at the UN, so he doesn't want to have that for dinner tonight. That's the only redirection that I can remember. But otherwise, there was trust put into us to deliver the kind of, the food that was appropriate for that dinner, which sometimes was dinner with the family, sometimes it was a state dinner with heads of state, sometimes it was a general reception.
Did you ever spill anything while you were serving? Like a schlump, like my housekeeper does.
What?
Schlump, did you ever spill anything while you were serving?
No. No. It went great. Yes. So, yeah, and then, of course, we had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year. So did I get to meet them? No. I cooked for them. My team, we all cooked for them. All the popular rock and roll artists of the time. Every night there were celebrity galas every night. I couldn't keep up. My energy was focused on the kitchen and the operation. It never thrilled me, honestly, to go meet, outside of the president himself, it gave me no thrill to go meet a celebrity.
Did you take any of the food home after nobody ate it or wasn't finished?
No.
Did you schlep something home?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
No.
What's your favorite restaurant now?
I just found, oh my gosh, I want to remember it.
But that's okay. Do you cook at home?
Not that much, Cindy. I'm at the restaurant for dinner most every night. My wife cooks for the kids. I will cook occasionally, but by the time you do grocery, everybody knows. By the time you do the grocery shopping, you do the prep, you cook the dinner, you clean up. It's 3-4 hours. I honestly don't. That's not what I want to do when I come home. I want to spend time with my wife and kids, doing other things other than cooking. But we have a holiday, of course, or a special occasion. I'll pull it together.
What about dropping something? Did you ever drop something? It seems to me a chef has so many hands. The stuff is hot. The stuff is delicate. You can't make a mistake. Didn't you ever drop anything?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you the one thing that yes, things like that happen, and you have to tell the waiter, tell them we just had an accident. We had to start over, apologize to the guests, or get them a glass of wine or a salad while we redid it. But I remember I have a flashback of when I was a cook, and I was on the station that was very busy, and I was doing burgers, and I kept burning the bun. And I'm like, after the fifth bun, I'm like, my God, I can't even toast a bun. You turn around and it's burnt, right? So, sure. Burning or dropping, or sometimes things are over seasoned, and you try to dilute it or you try to fix it, and you can't. You just got to scrap it and start over.
Tell me, this sounds like a dumbass question. I understand that, but the Waldorf is the Waldorf. What is so effing great about having a kitchen in the Waldorf as opposed to having a kitchen anywhere else? What is so effing great about the Waldorf's food?
It's not the food, Cindy. The food's good. The food is good as any other fine dining or elevated restaurant or place. It's not. It's always about the clientele that comes, that elevates an event or makes things seem more important. When I'm cooking for the President of the United States, I'm taking greater care on that food than I might be for other people. It's human nature, right? And so when you have VIP events, and what's a VIP event? It could be a legendary company that's launching a new product. It could be a celebrity that's having a wedding. It could be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It could be the Al Smith dinner when the room is just packed with dignitaries. And like this, the stakes are high. The expectation is high. The price tag is enormous. So in the kitchen, we have an obligation, a sense of obligation, certainly, to live up to that obligation and to do whatever we can to bring the value and meet or exceed the expectation that people are coming to. You put on a gown to go to an event, and a man puts on a tuxedo. All right, it's not you're not going to grab a burger. You're expecting a refined event with high-end service, an ambiance that is luxurious, food that is.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
Overstated. Yeah.
Thank you. I loved talking with you. I love having dinner at the Waldorf, and I appreciate everything you've said. Now send me a sandwich, okay?
Yeah, I hear you. I love sandwiches.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Good.
sweetie. Okay, honey.
All right, Cindy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.